Hey guys, it's Ken again, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing to you the Vampire Diaries Season 5, Episode 3, Original Sin. This was a very different type of episode for the Vampire Diaries because this is like, you know how we usually have a bunch of different plot points with a bunch of different characters? We did not get a lot of characters in this episode. I still love the episode though because we basically found out all we need to know about Silas and what he's really trying to do. And we also found out some interesting stuff about Stefan and if this is all real or not. You know, it definitely confused me a little bit, but I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get us confused and then they're going to explain it all to us. I think that's a great strategy that they got there, so... yeah, I think that's a really great strategy that they got there, so I'm really looking forward to, you know, I really like this episode because there was no Bonnie, there was no Jeremy, there was no Caroline, and there was Matt, but not really a lot of Matt. But there was no Bonnie, there was no Jeremy, there was no Caroline, there was no anybody except for Elena, Damon, Stefan, Katherine, Matt, and that was basically it. So, yeah, what I think of this episode, as I said, I loved it. So, basically, since there's only one big plot point, we're just gonna talk about it. So, we see the beginning. Stefan is staggering down Route 29 when he finds a bar. The lone bartender tells him he missed last call of 4 hours, but it offers him coffee. He attacks and bites. He basically attacks that girl and he bites her, and then he orders her to run. Then, he comes out of the bar and he sees a rising sun. And here's a weird thing. He begins to burn. He just basically killed himself. But it turns out it was all a dream. And Damon wakes up, and I love the part where he's like, it's like sleeping with a tornado. He tells her to go back to sleep, and she tells him about the dream, and says it was like she was there with him. And Damon tells her that their psychic connection is weird, and that he doesn't want to play by play. So then he does ask her what happened. She describes the bar and what happened. She told him the name of the bar and where it was. And then Katherine comes in and tells them that she had the same exact dream. And then Damon groans and flops down in frustration. That was hilarious. I thought that scene was really funny because Damon is always like the hilarious one on this show. Damon tells Elena there are 9 bars along Route 9, but none called Joe's Bar. She holds Stefan's daylight ring and says she should have realized something was wrong all summer. Katherine comes in and calls shotgun, saying now that she's human, she gets carsick. Elena does not want her alone, and Katherine says if she hasn't shoved down the cure down her throat, that she wouldn't be there. Damon reminds Elena that Silas is after Katherine. Katherine tells her that she has a bond with Stefan and cares about him or else she wouldn't be having the dreams too. So, yeah, I really like this banter between Elena, Katherine, and Damon. It was very funny. You know, we're getting a lot of comedy this season, and I think that's great. I love it when the Vampire Diaries is able to do comedy with serious situations. It's really great. So then Silas is on the phone with the gypsy Nadia and tells her he thinks she's faking and that maybe she didn't really kill her buddy Grego. She reminds him that he buried him, and it turns out that Matt is actually, after ripping the ring off his finger, Matt is possessed by Grego. So Matt's possessed by him, and she basically, that's why she wants to kill him, because he's possessed by him and Grego is no good. So she has to kill him. So then Stefan wakes in a room with a girl staring at him. He orders her to get out of the room before he kills her, and she tells him she bought him dinner. So basically, he tells him he's a doppelganger with a conscience, and she reveals that she had him dragged out of his water tomb and asks him how much he knows about Silas. He gives her the rundown and tells her that Silas is a monster and he's going after him. He starts to leave, and she tells him he'll burn up without a daylight ring. She tells him he wasn't all, and then, now this part I really love. We have this character, Qetsiyah, and I really love this character of Qetsiyah. 1, she's a badass, like everyone on the show. Everyone on the show is a badass. 2, she's, we found a lot more out about Silas. It turns out Qetsiyah was in love with Silas. The problem was, Silas was not in love with her. Silas actually didn't want anything to do with her. And, she tells Steph, you know, Silas wanted to destroy the limbo area that supernaturals linger in after death so I could finally truly die and be at peace. And, basically we see that, that he loved another girl, and she basically wants to kill that girl, because she never got a chance to kill her, and, Stefan says that he thought she was dead and on the other side, and she says she was for 2,000 years, but she says she came back for him. So she's basically out now to get revenge on Silas and the other girl. So then Damon, Elena, and Katherine are on the road trip from hell. Elena tells Damon she'll know it when she sees it, and Katherine agrees. She asks Elena about her dreaming about Stefan about them all summer, and Elena says it wasn't dreams, it was just a bad feeling. Katherine asks if maybe Stefan was her one true love, and that she should have never broke up with him. She also says that maybe he was reaching out to her all summer, and she was just too busy with Damon to pay attention. And this was very interesting. I definitely found that to be a very interesting thing that happened there. I definitely found that to be very interesting. So, then Nadia finds Matt taking out the trash, and she tells him she's there to keep him safe, and that he must trust her. She trusts him, grabs his face, and says, "Come forth, Gregor." Then suddenly, her buddy is there filling Matt with his essence. He's furious that she killed him, and she tells him that she'll make it permanent because she loves him and will do anything for him. He commands her to tell him where he buried her body, but she agrees, but says first he has to call Elena and find out where Katherine is. So then Qetsiyah comes back with food, and Stefan asks her for a cell phone. She tells him there's no cell phone reception, and he says he doesn't entirely believe her. She tells him to call her Tessa because it's easier. He asks her why she's there, and she says when Bonnie lowered the veil, she took the chance to come across and take care of what her hunters had failed at for centuries. Basically, Qetsiyah in this episode, or whatever his name, or, Tessa, whatever her name was, she basically took the place of Bonnie. She tells Stefan that on their wedding day, she and Silas were going to drink the immortality potion on their special day. So she realized when all her wedding flowers started dying in front of her that she had taken the potion and was drinking it somewhere else. He fooled her into making him immortal. She went to confront him and found him with the woman he gave her share of, and this girl is named Amara. So Stefan confirms that Silas was the first version of him, and Amara was the first version of Elena. Amara looks exactly like Katherine and Elena, and this doppelganger stuff continues. But there's more to this. She says nature balanced their immortality by increasing mortal shadow versions of them. The doppelgangers, while they talk, she's been messing with herbs, and he asks what she's doing. Turns out she's making him a new daylight ring so they can go after Silas together. Damon and Elena find the bar from her dream and leave Katherine sleeping in the car because she's only quiet when she's asleep. Damon sees, yeah, that's true. Katherine's only quiet when she's asleep. Katherine never stops talking, and that's one of the reasons that Katherine is one of my favorites. She's very funny. Damon sees a mark on the bartender's neck and asks her what happened. It turns out that the dream was not a dream. It was actually real, what they saw. It actually happened. It wasn't a dream. And, Elena asks what she did to him, and Nadia comes out of hiding and says the bartender poured him a drink just like she told her to. Then Katherine comes in and Nadia moves a gun. She was aiming at Elena and points to Katherine. She asks which one of them is Katherine. She says she needs Katherine alive. Elena charges Nadia and yells for Katherine to run. Nadia throws her off and heads out after Katherine. Damon says they don't need an assassin chasing Katherine, and she tells him to go after Stefan. And basically, he concludes Nadia must be working for Silas, which we know is true. So, then we see that, Damon tells her that Katherine's life isn't worth risking a hair on Elena's head, and that if there's any trouble to her, to forget about it and let her go. She tells him to go after Stefan since he's hurt. They kiss, and each takes off in another direction. So then Tessa tells Stefan that they don't stand a chance right now with Silas's advanced mental powers. She says that thousands of years of sipping at people has let him grow his powers. Stefan asks if Amara is still in the tomb where Silas is, and Tessa says she's definitely not. Then we see another flashback, and she offers him a veil that contains a cure for immortality. He says that's impossible, and she tells him it works because she just used it to cure another immortal. He runs to check on Amara and finds her blood everywhere. Tessa cut her throat and cut her heart out. He's heartbroken. He says he'll kill her, and she tells him he can't come near her unless he takes a cure and they live a human life together. She holds him at bay with her magic. And at this point, by the way, Silas is in the form of Stefan, because we know that Stefan is Silas. So she tells Stefan she offered Silas a second chance, and he thinks it wasn't much of one. She then tells him she created the other side as a barrier between the living world and the peaceful afterlife Silas craved. Let's just skip ahead here. Damon finds the cabin and comes in whispering Stefan's name. He's in a chair tied up, and Damon asks what's going on. He tells him that Tessa is back from the other side, and then she comes in and tells Damon the vines holding Stefan won't come loose until she's done. She basically is trying to separate Silas and Stefan, get Silas out of Stefan's mind, basically. And, Damon asks if Damon asks if Tessa planted the dreams in Katherine, and she nods. She asks where she is, and he says there's been a snag. Damon tells her that they need to be going, and Tessa tells him he doesn't want to get on her bad side. She tells him that without his powers, Silas can't defeat anyone. Stefan tells her to do the spell and get it over with. So Nadia drags Katherine along and she demands to know who her kidnapper is. Silas shows up and Nadia asks why he's there. He tells her that a GPS tracker is even better than a locator spell. So back at the cabin, Tessa is proceeding with the spell on Stefan. He's in pain. Silas thanks Nadia for finding Katherine, and she says she's not ready to hand her over yet. He recognizes that she has unfinished business. She tells him to get out of her head, and Katherine asks what that means. Silas orders her to let go, and Katherine takes out her gun and aims it at her heart. So then Damon eventually tries to wake up Stefan, but he's not responding because Silas just collapses, blood coming out of his eyes as Stefan passes out, and because she had this spell, and Damon tells her they're done, and she agrees they are. So Tessa tells Damon that they are the same thing, and the obstacle between the two people who are true loves. This is very strange. This is very strange with Damon and Elena. He asks if she wants him to leave Stefan there, and she says she'll watch out for him and he can go on his life with Elena. He asks if anyone will know, and she promises no one will know. She says no, and he tells her she can just go back to hell. He tries to choke her, and she drops him with her mental power. Suddenly, he hears Elena calling for Stefan. She runs in and runs first to Stefan. So he's kind of confused on what's going on now, but then we see that eventually, Elena sits beside Stefan on the couch and tenderly puts his daylight ring on him as Damon comes in. Damon basically said, I was very happy that Elena and Damon did not break up this episode. I really thought they were gonna, but they didn't. Elena basically says that Tessa is crazy and that she's not breaking up with Damon anytime soon. Damon is her true love, and Damon's the one she loves. Very happy about this. I do not want to see Stefan and Elena anymore. They're just, like, way too old. Then we get the biggest part of the episode. We see Stefan walk in the room. They're talking to him. Damon welcomes him back. Elena tells him she missed him. And he says, I have no idea who you people are. So not only did Tessa wipe his memory completely, she also wiped his memory of Damon and Elena completely. So he does not remember them at all. Guys, it was a fantastic episode. I loved every minute of it. What did you guys think of this episode? Do you like the new character of Tessa? Did you like Stefan's storyline? What do you think is going to happen now that Stefan he lost his memory? Do you think he's going to be able to get it back? What did you think of Silas's storyline? What do you think of his plan with Katherine? Do you think it's going to work out with Katherine? Clearly they want Katherine. What do you think of Tessa's theory with Stefan? Do you think it's true? I don't think it is true with Stefan and Elena. I think she's just crazy. Or is she actually telling the truth? That's it for this review. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.